From the mysterious depths of the ocean to the most unexpected encounters with unseen creatures, today we will dive into the world of underwater mysteries, where the line between fantasy and reality can dissolve before our very eyes. Stay with us until the very end. Perhaps in the next flash of the camera, through the water's expanse, something will stare back at us, something whose existence humanity has never even suspected. In one of the Swedish bodies of water, a group of researchers set up underwater cameras, hoping to obtain new data on the ecology and habits of local inhabitants. But instead of the usual schools of fish, they captured something that darted quickly through the murky water. Due to poor lighting and imperfect equipment, the footage turned out blurry, yet the curious shapes on the film prompted some to call it the Swedish sea serpent. Some are convinced it might have been an unknown creature. Others suggest it could be an ordinary grass snake, which indeed can swim and glide beneath the surface. And there are those who think it might have been a large eel or a rare fish living in Scandinavia's shallow lakes. However, no one has been able to say with certainty what exactly flickered in front of the lens. Stories like this only prove how little we know about nature, even when it is right beside us. An avid adventurer decided to go kayaking in the open sea and film everything with his new camera. He hoped to capture spectacular waves and scenery, but instead he accidentally recorded something that flashed by in the distance. When he reviewed the footage, he noticed a dark silhouette that surfaced briefly and quickly disappeared beneath the water. Some suggest it was a curious seal approaching to get a closer look at the visitor in the kayak. After all, seals often show playful behavior and may come near people out of curiosity. However, others, upon seeing the blurry outline, immediately started claiming it was an unknown underwater monster. The camera kept shaking on the waves, making details nearly impossible to discern. Still, there is something eerily intriguing about those swift movements in the water. Stories like this remind us that even the most ordinary outing can turn into an encounter with the inexplicable. On the coast of Florida, where it might seem only gigantic cruise ships and crowds of tourists can surprise you, witnesses once recorded something strange in the coastal waters. The blurry footage shows a dark shape gliding steadily, dipping below and then reappearing on the surface. Many at first assumed it was a giant stingray, while some saw in it a massive serpent-like animal mentioned in local legends. But others quickly figured out it was a wounded manatee, often called a sea cow, known for its peaceful nature. The key clue was the characteristic triangular tail, which seemed damaged by a boat propeller. Manatees can often be found in Florida waters. However, a rare occasion when an animal surfaces so close to beaches immediately spawns plenty of rumors, myths, and, of course, captivating footage. Alaska is famous for its majestic mountains, snow, and nearly untouched wilderness that humans have never fully mastered. Yet beyond the rugged landscape lie abundant rivers hiding incomprehensible secrets beneath icy waters. In one such place, not far from Fairbanks, cameras captured something moving in a wave-like manner under the surface, resembling a serpent-like body. Skeptics promptly declared that this unknown beast was merely a log caught on a fish's tail, or perhaps a fish tangled in driftwood, thus creating the strange movement. Others, however, linked it to the legendary Loch Ness monster. Of course, the geographical mismatch is obvious, but there is no shortage of stories where mysterious creatures appear where no one expects them. So far, there is no concrete proof, and the mystery remains buried under ice and speculation. In one intriguing archival clip, we see a camera operator trying to film underwater inhabitants when suddenly a whitish flash appears on screen. Then something swiftly disappears from view. Rumors of a mermaid flared up at once. After all, the image of a hybrid being with a human upper body and a fishtail exists in the folklore of many countries. But is that really the case? Some suggest the camera simply caught a fish darting by. Still, the mystery remains. If you look closely, it seems the creature briefly smacks a hand against the glass, as if trying to gauge who is on the other side. Of course, there are plenty of mermaid legends, but is it really possible that, in the midst of an ordinary shoot, proof of their existence would suddenly appear? There are many theories but few clues, and this is exactly what fuels people's curiosity worldwide. Famed Bondi Beach in Australia is known to surfers, sun lovers, and admirers of azure waters. But one day, something of strange appearance washed ashore. Eyewitnesses took it for part of a large fish, or even a creature unknown to science. Once specialists examined it more closely, however, they concluded that it might be a partially decomposed stingray, or what is called a coffin ray. The incident quickly gained legendary status, with some comparing the find to a prop from a fantasy series, since indeed, filming for such series was taking place nearby at the time. And so the question remained, was this proof of something bigger lurking in coastal waters than we usually imagine? Or was it merely a coincidence? Deep-sea cameras placed on offshore platforms often capture amazing things. On one such recording, an unusual creature with long, flowing tentacles was seen. It slowly approached the camera and appeared almost translucent. Many panicked, claiming a discovery of a dangerous, unknown predator. However, scientists quickly recognized a familiar inhabitant, a rare type of jellyfish known as solmissus, or a saucer jelly. Unlike their relatives that passively filter water, these creatures can actively hunt small prey. In shape, they really do resemble a drifting dish, and their long appendages float in the water, giving the impression of a pulsating alien structure. Encountering such beings on camera is already a rare stroke of luck, since they usually live very deep. Nevertheless, this meeting with the unknown of the depths sparked many discussions and speculations. In the beginning of the 1980s, scientists documented for the first time a squid with unusually thin and elongated tentacles. It was nicknamed the big fin squid, or magna pinna. It can extend its arms to an impressively long length, creating the impression that it has something like elbow joints. A camera set deep underwater to monitor technical processes on a platform suddenly recorded the appearance of this creature. It drifted slowly into the spotlight, giving a chance to observe its graceful movements. Presumably, the magna pinna moves with deliberation, lowering its tentacles toward the seabed in hopes of catching small fish or crustaceans by chance. So far, there have been very few opportunities to study its behavior, since it lives at enormous depths, rarely reached even by specialized submersibles. But each such bit of footage is a small window into a realm that may still conceal thousands of similar discoveries. Sometimes all it takes to create a real sensation is a camera, a rock in the water, and as much buzz as possible. That is exactly how the monster from Ontario came about. In the recording, someone excitedly discusses a mysterious creature rising above the surface, though in reality, the eye can see only a stationary dark object. Toward the end of the video, you can hear a person throwing a stone, and the sound of it hitting something solid strongly suggests it was just a rock poking out of the water. Some tried to defend themselves by saying it might have been a huge turtle simply staying still. Yet the facts speak for themselves. It seems that, at times, rumors and an overactive imagination can transform even the most mundane event into a myth about an unknown beast. People claim that a strange animal was seen near Belfast. Allegedly, it sped across the water, leaving a long, winding wake behind it. However, details of this incident raise as many questions as the event itself. It is evident that there are people in rather formal attire aboard the boat, and the filming is done in such a way as if they were expecting something in advance. Skeptics believe this is staged footage for some art project or amateur film. Detractors of that theory insist the video is authentic and purportedly captured a mysterious creature moving across the water with remarkable smoothness. verifying the truth is nearly impossible. The background scenery could match various locations, and the creature could have been nothing more than a prop. Nevertheless, the legend itself continues to spark imaginations. What if, under those waters, there really does dwell something that science has yet to discover? When people talk about mysterious underwater creatures, one of the first to come to mind is the legendary inhabitant of Scotland's Loch Ness. From time to time, new videos and photographs emerge, allegedly showing a long-necked being disturbing the water's surface. But in this case, everything turned out to be quite obvious. The footage, presented as genuine evidence, was actually just a scene from a fictional film posted online for promotional purposes. The shots are too cinematic and smoothly done, prompting even the untrained eye to sense something off. And yet the dream of seeing the real Nessie is so strong that many are willing to believe any video showing the silhouette of some giant. Perhaps it is precisely our unceasing desire for mystery that keeps the myth of the creature from Scotland's misty legends alive. On one of North Carolina's beaches, residents noticed a huge creature that appeared on the surface of the water several times. Someone managed to record a short snippet on their phone and shared it, hoping to find out what this sea giant might be. Rumors began spreading immediately that the Loch Ness monster decided to relocate closer to the American shores. However, experts concluded that it was most likely a young whale occasionally surfacing. Such behavior is typical of curious whale calves exploring the coastal zone. And although this explanation is quite plausible, theories of a sea monster from Loch Ness roaming the waters of Carolina circulated online for a long time. In a well-known museum located near an unusual body of water named in a way that evokes Scottish legends, there was suddenly an announcement. A gigantic creature had been spotted on the upper overview of the water's surface. The staff promptly provided a video in which a long silhouette appears briefly on the surface. But the description also mentioned a current museum exhibition about marine dinosaurs and legendary monsters. A coincidence? Not everyone believed so. The story looked like a perfect publicity stunt to attract visitors. Yet, many still discuss the possibility that the museum workers really witnessed the appearance of some ancient denizen of the deep. Such coincidences always create tension, for the boundary between marketing and a genuine discovery can be extremely thin. Off the coast at a popular beach, an experienced surfer was catching perfect waves, unaware that he would end up at the center of an unusual story. In the video, at one point, something dark and streamlined appears close to him as if trying to approach. One theory is that it was merely a school of fish dispersing in a particular pattern, with shadows and reflections giving the illusion of a large entity. Bolder guesses point to a giant octopus or even an injured stingray that by chance surfaced from the depths. The surfer himself, returning to shore, simply shrugged. He felt no aggressive action and could not really describe what fluttered around his board. Yet again, this shows us that nature can play mysterious games, especially where we least expect it. Nummer eins. In the ocean depths, at about 3,700 feet down, workers on an underwater platform recorded something curious. It is often said that we have studied outer space better than the ocean floor. Observing the baffling stories, this is easy to believe. In one instance, witnesses managed to film near the very surface of the water a part of a strange tail that appeared for just an instant, then disappeared, leaving behind only a massive ring of rippling water. Someone immediately proposed the theory of a surviving descendant of ancient marine reptiles like plesiosaurs. Those taking a more measured approach concluded that it might have been a manatee whose tail had been injured by a boat propeller and thus looked split into several sections. Indeed, injuries from watercraft are not uncommon on large sea creatures. Still, the brief moment captured on video and the impressive size of that tail continue to spark curiosity. There is no conclusive proof that it was not a creature we have yet to discover. Travelers in Alaska were admiring the ice and fragile beauty of the fjords when they noticed strange protruding ridges in the water. They were lined up in a row and moved as though part of a single large body. The hastily shot video stirred up enormous speculation, since the ridges looked almost like sharp spines. Some claimed it was a new species of sea dragon drifting in the icy water. Others argued that they were actually sea lions swimming very close together, creating the illusion of one giant animal. And inevitably, there was talk of a drifting log with tufts of seaweed attached, resembling fins. To this day, there is no reliable explanation, but the recorded footage causes a storm of curiosity. What if something bigger really does live there? One of the most provocative videos shows an author using retro filters to give the clip a mysterious vintage style. However, aside from the film effect, the footage shows only a shaky image flickering above the water. Soon, something long appears, but the quality is so poor that it is impossible to tell what is splashing around. People have offered all kinds of theories: a snake, a large loon, or simply a piece of driftwood whose position changes with the waves. But that slight veneer of old-fashioned mystique and the vague silhouette have created a real cult following for this story. Enthusiasts still review the clip, hoping to glimpse more details. Such heightened videos prove how easily an audience can be fooled if you amplify the mystery with music and shaky camera work. Our minds love finding solutions in every shadow. In a dubious piece of film footage, supposedly shot for research purposes, two people underwater suddenly notice a strange webbed hand passing by the glass. The mysterious figure disappears as quickly as it appeared. Viewers immediately use the term mermaid, since the limb seems to point to some human-like being. Others urge a more rational viewpoint. It could be just a trick of light or part of a diver's suit. And some confidently compare the footage to computer graphics, pointing to movements that are suspiciously abrupt, as though edited. Regardless, such videos fuel humanity's enduring fascination with mermaids and lost civilizations that might dwell in the ocean depths. Perhaps humanity still has many discoveries ahead, some of which might be more astounding than any legend. Each incident is a small reminder that Earth holds a treasury of surprises, and there are many more left for us to unravel. We hope you have received your share of intrigue and excitement. Share your thoughts, theories, and guesses, and do not be afraid to dream. It is precisely in such mysteries that the most incredible discoveries are sometimes born.